Style. Style is the answer to everything. A fresh way to approach a dull or dangerous thing. To do a dangerous thing with style is what I call art.
I told you I'm not here to mess around, and you've been acting too mysterious. You didn't think I'd go, but do you now? You never took me seriously. You don't have the time for me. I don't have the time to please you. I'll pack all your things away. You're welcome. Broken promises that got me out of work. I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. Don't wanna deal with you, don't wanna feel for you. It's your loss. Broken promises that got me out of work. I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. Don't wanna deal with you, don't wanna feel for you. It's your loss. I never really liked the way you dressed. I guess I thought your style might grow on me. You're never really honest, made me guess. And now I want you far from close to me. You don't have the time for me. I don't have the time to please you. I'll pack all your things away. You're welcome. Broken promises that got me out of work. I'm leaving and I'm never coming back. Don't wanna deal with you, don't wanna feel for you. It's your loss. Broken promises.
Okay guys, I don't know how the fuck I pulled this off, especially this look. My hair was even still wet when we took it out, but we just hairsprayed it like no other. So apparently I'm taking bookings for makeup now if y'all need. I'm so impressed with myself. Honestly guys, this is a huge fucking challenge. I should have just got a hotel room in the city. I thought that being kind of local was local enough, but honestly it was a gong show with the tan and stuff this morning, having to rip back for makeup. And now we're just anxiously trying to rip back to the hotel for the show. So we're gonna get there though, guys. I'm super behind on messages, comments, all that kind of stuff, but just know that you will hear back from me. So it's game time, guys. Alright guys, welcome back to our last prep vlog of this series. I hope that you guys had a lot of fun watching show day. I had so much fun, honestly, even though it wasn't exactly what I expected, and we'll get into that. It was a great experience. I cannot say enough about the show promoters. I cannot say enough about the love from them, how well they treated the athletes. Everything was on time. Some things were even early. Like, it was very well ran. So cheers to them on a fabulous job. And if you guys ever want to compete in Saskatoon, I highly recommend the Golden Prairie Cup for a regional show. So with that being said, I hope that that brings more of you to Saskatchewan to want to compete, because there was a little bloop in how I ended up taking my first place. So the thing is, guys, is how I really want to get into this video is I think a lot of people watching don't even really understand what I'm working towards and what this all really means. So I thought that because I don't really see it in any other YouTube videos, it was something that I didn't understand for a really long time. And I want to explain to you guys how being an IFBB Pro works. So I thought that I would break it down on these sheets for us so that I could keep it nice and simple, so that it'll hopefully make sense to you guys. So the thing is I talk a lot about being a natural athlete, and I haven't really talked about why I think that this is so important to me. But, you know, over this last prep and really sticking to my gears, I can honestly say that it means so much more to me than what I think people think. So I guess I want to start out by saying that, you know, I've always been a person for a very long time, I'm not anymore, thank goodness, that didn't love herself, okay? I always wanted to change myself. I never felt good enough. My weight was never right, you know, I always wanted to change my outward appearance, but of course I never wanted to do that internal work. And of course that's where all the changes come from. But the thing is that I hated myself so much, and I always wanted to chase being somebody else. I never owned my true potential for so many years. And it's something that I kick myself in the ass for now, because I feel like I could be a lot farther than where I am now if I would have owned that potential instead of trying to be somebody else. And I think that that's where Authentically Fit really came from for my business idea, is being able to own who you are authentically, not being afraid to be who you are, being able to own that confidently and know that you can say when you've made mistakes or you've been wrong and be able to push forward, right? Like, that's the thing, is it doesn't mean that you're perfect. It means that you're willing to face yourself, be honest with yourself, and keep pushing forward. And I think that that honesty factor and those deep conversations that we are supposed to have internally don't happen, and that's where a lot of growth is missed for so many people. So going back to why being natural is something that's so important to me is because of the fact that for once in my life, I finally love who I am. I'm owning my true potential, and I am doing something for me that is so good in so many different ways. I've touched on this like in Instagram posts and stuff about how bodybuilding is something for me to be able to channel, my anger and all of these emotions that I maybe would have taken out on myself in a really negative way, in a really positive way. And it allows me to be able to deal with my shit. So the thing is, when it comes to bodybuilding, is it's an extreme sport. And there needs to be people who are willing to take it to the far extremes, because that is what bodybuilding is. And that farthest extreme is steroids and PEDs. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. So I'm also going to say what PEDs are, because a lot of you probably don't know, but that's physical enhancement drugs, okay? So there's tons of drugs on the market now that can do so much to your physique, allow you to recover faster. There's so many different ones that are out there now. It's actually kind of mind-blowing. But the thing is that there is a point when it is okay for people to take them. But the problem is that 99% of people are just wanting to jump on them way too soon without maximizing their natural potential. Now, the thing is I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I almost jumped on PEDs as soon as I was done my last show. But luckily for the coach that I had, he was able to show me my true potential and what the long-term risk would be. It might not be worth my reward. And, especially with some of the mental health issues that can come along with steroid and PED use, and how much work I've done on working on my mental health, I didn't think that it was the right decision for me, and I chose to stay natural. And for a while, it was like this big pull inside of me. It felt like I still wasn't good enough, that I wasn't going to make it to that level. Everybody highlights these really crazy conditioned physiques that are out there now. And it makes a person feel like, how could you ever hold up to that? Especially like the lower body mass that you're seeing on some of these wellness competitors. It's absolutely mind-blowing. And so that's where, over this past year, I've really owned it. I've really owned who I am. I've really learned to love who I am and what I can bring to the table. And as I've learned to love myself, I've been able to maximize everything that I do that much more, And in this journey, I really think it's important when you are going through a bodybuilding journey to make sure that you thank yourself, A lot of us don't have coaches there beside us telling us to push another rep or add more weight. Like when you're training hard, you look like a psychopath and people judge you in the gym, and you need to have enough courage to push past that. There's so many, levels that you need to break through that you don't even realize that you need to be able to take in order to take yourself to the next level as a bodybuilder, and that deserves a thank you, right? And so with that being said, my ultimate goal with bodybuilding is to become an IFBB Pro. Okay, so I want to explain to you guys how you become an IFBB Pro. So let's see if these flashcards work for us. Okay, so I want to break this down for my American and my Canadian people. So you have the IFBB Pro League. Now that breaks down into the NPC in the USA, and it breaks down to the CPA in Canada. Okay, so now we're going to speak to what it means when you are a natural or an open athlete. So when it comes to the NPC, they only have open. There is no other natural division within the NPC. When it comes to the CPA, they do have a natural and an open division, all of which lead up to being an IFBB Pro. So to break this down a little bit further of how this works is we have natural that can compete in both an open show and a natural show, okay? So natural has the ability to cross over between both shows. An open show means that you are not tested, which means you're able to use steroids and or PEDs, okay? A lot of these are not legal, which is why people don't talk about them, but it's something that is out there and very much done. So you need to make sure that you can talk about it without people getting into trouble, because I think that if there was better legalities around these, it could be done in a lot safer manner, but we're gonna go a little bit further into that as well, okay? So the thing is that as a natural competitor, how I want to earn my way to being an IFBB Pro is I want to compete at a regional level And I need to, in order to go to a national show, you generally have to place top 3 within your height class. So this natural show that I just did at Golden Prairie Cup, I did get first place, but I was also the only one who showed up in my height class. I wasn't just the only one who showed up in the height class, I was the only one who showed up in all of the height classes for wellness. So when there's somebody who doesn't show up, or when there's only one person for all the height classes, then that means that you don't get to go to an overall. Now, I was really excited to go to that overall. I did not want to take this first place win this way, but there's nothing that you can do about it. Wellness is still so new to Canada. A lot of people don't want to do wellness natty, and that's why I want to encourage other women to get out there and be able to own their natural physiques and to try this out natural. Don't get me wrong, if you are ready to go to Olympia and you're ready to make this your last goal, I firmly believe you are going to probably have to take it to that next step. But my goal right now is to see how far I can take this as a natural athlete. Yes, I'm going to maximize my training age eventually, but at the same point too, I want to see what can be done, because I think that a lot of us don't have patience, and we're just like, our society just wants to change things so quickly all the time. Like, we want instant gratification. We want instant changes when we're putting in work. We want instant success when we're putting in work. Like, there's so much that we want instantly, and that's why I think it's so appealing for like 17-year-olds to start jumping on PEDs right now. And that's where I really want people to see that you are fucking great the way that you are. You really are, but are you actually owning your potential, or are you trying to be someone else? Okay, so I want that message to resonate. So let's go back to our little diagram here. So regional, you need to get top 3, and then you're going to go to a national show, and that's where you can earn your pro card. So that's where we're going next year. We are going to the natural pro qualifier show to try to earn that pro card, okay? So when it comes to the national show, you obviously need to place first, and then you will get your pro card status. Once you get your pro card status, then you're able to go and compete with IFBB pros at pro shows. Therefore, when we go back to this diagram, this means that you're going to compete against everybody in NPC, everybody in CPA who has become a pro. Therefore, if you are natural, you are now going to be competing with everybody, because natural no longer has a division anymore once you become a pro, okay? So that's one thing that I really want people to understand, is how the flowing works, what my plan is, what am I actually working towards right now. So now that we know, make sure that you guys drop any questions that you have below in the comments, because I had so many questions when I was first getting started. I had no idea how this really filtered together, but now we do, and now I'm here to help you guys out. So we know that the show was a success. We know that the first show was just me who showed up. Now, the thing is, some people would take that win and be like, whatever, you still won. But the truth is, guys, is even though that I know that I put in the work to be there, that does not necessarily mean that I didn't want to be able to go up and see what my physique looks like against somebody else in the natural division. So it is unfortunate that it worked out this way for me, especially when you look at how much work, time, money, emotion, everything that goes into it. But it is what it is. It was a good experience. You can't change who's on stage. I stayed positive throughout, and honestly, I tried to work a little extra posing time in there because I knew that I was the only one. So work it, right? So the only real sad part of that was I really did want to earn the tiara. That would have been pretty freaking sweet, but that's okay. There's going to be future shows, future tiaras. So moving on to the second show. So the second show that I did was an open show as a natural athlete. I did end up being the only natural one on stage. And right from the beginning, guys, I knew that I was going to place last. To be completely honest with you, I didn't have any eye contact from the judges. They kept switching around the other girls. And by the end, I could see them say, that's it. So I knew that there was, no qualification for me there. And I was totally okay with it because I didn't go into that one expecting a qualification. Yes, I qualified in my first open show in 2020. But I know that this time around, I came in a lot less conditioned than A, I wanted to, and B, what I should have been, and C, the potential that I have to be. So with that being said, in that show, I took 4th out of 4. It was great. I was really proud of my posing, except for what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the posing videos and we are going to critique where I know I slipped up, and I know every spot that I did. And like I said in my post on Instagram, anything can happen on stage. So we'll talk about that then. But otherwise, I'm very proud of how my muscle mass held up on stage, how those glutes held up on stage, my stage presence. But, I'm never going to stop smiling in my posing practice now, because I told my posing coach, I was like, I'm never not going to smile. Like, I'm going to have no problem with that on stage. But when I was on the comparison round in that open, I was thinking about how much muscle these girls have. And I was like, I really got to flex. And I stopped smiling because I was concentrating on what I needed to flex and the positionings and everything like that. So there's a few moments where I really dropped my smile, and that was something that I promised myself that I wouldn't do. So never say never. Never say never. So what I am thinking next is we are going to go into the posing critique. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a voiceover for these videos. So let's go see where I made my mistakes. All right, so this is my first show, the natural show. This is my individual routine where I took a little bit of extra time to do that walk up to the X. So you have to be in the X to do your posing, and I'm really proud of how I held myself here. Now the thing is because I took extra time, right here the judge told me that I had 5 extra seconds. I got a little bit nervous and I did a little slippy poo, but the thing is that this floor stage was so slippery compared to the floors that I was used to practicing with at the gym. Like, they are so much stickier. So that was the only spot that I lost myself. I was proud of myself. They brought me back again to do my 4 poses, my 4 mandatory poses. Again, a little tiny slip into that back pose, not as bad. But overall, I did both different transitions, so I'm so proud that I rocked both routines. And look at how strong this side is looking. That used to be my weakest side. You freaking go, girl. So I have come a long ways. Now, this next video that we're going to go into is the open show. This is going to be the comparison round against the other 3 girls. The biggest mistake that I made was I came out into a side pose when I should have been a front pose. So immediately right there, silly mistake. I noticed and I flipped into my front pose right away, but that threw me off guard. I dropped my smile and I also dropped my core control. So my breathing is great. I'm really proud of my breathing. You can hardly tell that I'm breathing, but my core should be held a lot tighter than what it is. Now, the only other mistake that I made during this posing is due to fatigue. Now, like I had said, I knew that my glute ham tie was there earlier in the week, and I was just praying it was going to show on stage. But I knew that I was up against probably some really fierce booty competition. So I needed to make sure that I really pushed out on those glutes. Now, they made us turn around numerous times, as they should, to see what those booties look like in comparison. Now, you can kind of see in the video in one of these turns of how bad my glutes started to shake. My legs were so tired, I tried to push hard to get my adductors to pop so that my glute ham tie would pop, and nothing was working for me. All it did was make my glutes penetrate so hard that I could have freaking shook my booty right off of that stage. So that was really unfortunate and, slightly embarrassing, even though I don't get embarrassed. But it is what it is. I tried to do my best. I was trying to push my heel into my high heels super hard, and unfortunately, that was the outcome. I'm really proud of not having any nerves. I wasn't sweaty. Like my first year, I was so sweaty. So you know what? I'm so proud of the performance that I brought, but we need to make sure that we are bringing in tighter core control, just a little bit more steady on those transitions. But again, I know that floor consistency has a lot to do with it. So I do need to practice on softer floors and making sure that I'm keeping that smile throughout. So the end of the video is just watching these beautiful athletes get awarded. But overall, I am so proud of my posing presentation. The fact that I was able to rock both routines and challenge myself in ways that I never thought was really ever possible, guys. So this should prove to you that if you set your mind to something and you practice, you can honestly make your dreams come true. Because when I look at myself right here, it's hard to believe that that is literally me. So cheers to the athletes that took the stage on this one. You guys looked absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so now we got all the goods from posing. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. And, you know, I'm not afraid to admit where I made mistakes. I'm not afraid to admit where I know I could have done better, right? And one thing is that my coach and I have agreed that even though show day came, I didn't maximize my potential. I'm sure you guys can see by my energy right now. I am full of energy. My hormones are functioning great. My digestion is functioning great. I'm still responding to any plan of attack that we have put against me, which is really, really nice. So the thing is that we have decided to keep going with this prep, I guess you'll call it, with this deficit, to condition me even more. So I know that I can keep pushing. I still have gas left in the tank that I want to give into this prep before I start fully reversing. So we're doing things a little bit different, and you know, there's a mixture of different things. So I apologize that I'm a little bit all over the place, but there's just so many different things that happen that I want to cover with you guys. So Sunday, before the show, I woke up with a beautiful glute hamstring tie. I'm going to insert that there. Now, my coach said, he's just like, Sarah, that is going to tighten up as the week goes on. This is going to be beautiful. But as the week went on, I lost my glute ham tie. And it was like, where'd you go to? So the thing is I, Sunday afternoon, got my period. The thing is like, it's a 1 in 4 chance that you're going to get your period peak weeks, show day, and mine just loves to show up for every occasion and holiday. It was here for our last show, birthdays, anniversaries. Like, I'm surprised she's not here telling the story with me because she's fucking always here. So I'm like, maybe next show, maybe not going to stress myself out about it. Just going to keep learning how to work with my body with my period. Luckily, as we've talked about in prior YouTube episodes, my hormonal response has gotten so much better. We've regulated my period so nicely now that we've been off birth control for, it's like almost like a year anniversary coming up, and I'm so fucking pumped about it. But it's good. Now, the thing is that I've been taking an estro digestion pill. Now, this estro pill is like, it's not estrogen. It helps break down your estrogen, okay? So with that, I've been taking it as per the naturopath, hoping that it would mitigate some of my mood issues that I was having, because she didn't test, but she was saying that this isn't something that's going to hurt you. So we're going to try it out, see if it works. But I think that this sucking thing has made my period that much longer. So when I go back on my tracking, June was 7 days, July was 7 days, August, I stopped taking the estro while we were on vacation, 4-day period, and everything was show. It ended up being 9 days. Now, I'm not saying it was like heavy 9 days. I mean, it was just like light, like just, I'm still hanging on, chilling. I can feel you in my bottom belly. Like, I just won't go away. Yeah, that's where we were at. So it like literally just stopped yesterday or the day before. It was absolutely brutal. So it lasted all week long, which therefore means that none of the changes that we made daily trying to make my body respond to peak, it just simply wouldn't peak, okay? So like no minor sodium manipulation, nothing with macros, you know, like nothing would make any changes. And I felt like even though my weight was dropping as the week went on, my waistline was just getting bigger. And then if I can be even more honest with you guys, on Friday night, it was like 9 p.m. I still needed to go to bed. And I set my... Okay, we are back. My husband just had some food arrive. Okay, but the thing is I was taking out my contacts and I heard my dog eating my last meal. And so like, literally to have that happen, your last meal before show day, you already feel like you should be in bed. I did not handle myself well, guys. I had a meltdown of meltdowns. I melted the fuck down. It's like every single failure I feel like I had in my life rushed through my head. It was terrible. And I am so grateful for my coach at that moment, because I should have just messaged him right away. He was so quick to getting back to me, even though it was his birthday. And he ends up telling me, Sarah, don't worry. You're okay if you lose this meal. It's not a big deal. Just get the rest. That's what's more important. So, you know, when I look at that, like, I am so grateful that I have a coach and that he was able to guide me in those moments, because that was the freaking icing on the cake, I tell ya. So, fucking dog. Anyways, regardless, there was a lot of stress that hit my body. And, you know, I know that even with the stress that hit my body, including the period, I know that I could have came in more conditioned. And so with that being said, we are continuing on to keep conditioning my body over the next few weeks, see what we can pull together. So, you know, this week I have decided that I just wanted to listen to my body this week on what it really wants to do. My coach is such an amazing coach that he's willing to work with me collaboratively on my coaching to make sure that we can come up with the best game plan together. You know, being a type A person and somebody who was her own coach the first time around, there's obviously a lot that I feel like I know about my body, but I know that I'm not always the expert in everything. I know that I need a second opinion. I know that it is so great to have somebody who is so experienced, so encouraging, so open and willing to work with somebody else. Like, I couldn't be more blessed to have somebody like that in my corner. So I'm so excited for what my coach and I are about to bring together over the next couple of weeks, collabing our coaching together. So as of this week right now, this is the week after show, I'm just listening to my body. We are going to just slowly attack these next few weeks. I've dropped my cardio unless I feel like I want to after a session, but I've added in a step target now. So we're getting back into steps, still getting good movement, but less inflammation on my body. I did have a high carb refeed day on Sunday night, and then I did have a little bit higher carbs on Monday. Now we're back to lower carbs today. So it's just fun listening to my body on what it needs. I'm very intuitive that way, so I feel very blessed that I get to work alongside him with his expertise, because I feel like what we're about to come up with is going to be legendary. So I'm really excited, because I feel like this journey is just getting started and we get to continue on all of this fun stuff together. So this week I'm actually going to have another YouTube drop, and it is going to be a leg day. So I recorded this during my prep. So it's going to be a voiceover video for you guys, giving some of my best form feedback tips so that you guys are nailing your leg sessions with the exercises that I'm providing you. So make sure to let me know if you have any questions. Now, I am on Instagram posting all the time. So if you're loving this journey, make sure to go follow me along on Instagram at authentically.fit. And also you can follow my team page at team.authenticallyfit. So we got lots of goodies, lots of good information, whether you're a competitor, whether you're just looking after your lifestyle health, or if you are just along for the fun. But no matter what, I just have to say thank you to you guys. You have no idea how much love you provided me with for this show. Like, the feedback that I got from you guys, it was overwhelming. Like, it was an emotional high. Like, I don't even have words for it. So just know that every comment, every wish, every story post was so appreciated. I think I've gotten back to absolutely everybody now, but if I've missed you, just know that that was completely by accident, because I am so grateful that we get to do this together because we are stronger together in everything that we do. So always remember that, guys. So I'll catch you on our leg day later this week, but otherwise, stay tuned for some really exciting things.